guys, this is Jim here with another Vinyl Kaiju review. Yet again today we have a subscriber requested review, this one being my Marmot Monster Heaven Rose Biollante. Now this one is the pink variation, and when I was hunting for this figure I knew I really wanted one, and I kind of had my heart set on the yellow version, but now that I have this one in person, I think it's at least as good as the yellow version. I really think it looks fantastic, especially the paint. But anyway, let me give you a little bit of information on the figure itself. This one came out in 2006, and I don't know the specific release information of the variants, but there were only two. There haven't been any releases since then, so I think they probably both came out in 2006. Whether they were mail order or special events, I don't know. Anyway, to talk about the figure itself, first of all, let's talk about the vinyl. High quality stuff. I really like the pink color that it's set in. It really pops off the shelf. It stands out from other things quite nicely that maybe even the yellow version wouldn't be able to. But it's very, very attractive looking. Sculpt. Let's talk about the sculpt, because the sculpt on this figure is impeccable. Really, it's just amazing. Let's get in here for some detail. Okay, let's start from the top of this figure and go down. So we've got the rose on top here, and as you can see, the details are done really nicely on that. The individual petals are carved out on the back. You've got the petals done in the front here that look really nice. And of course we've got those teeth in the middle, and that just looks fantastic. That's one of the best things about Rose Biollante, because, I mean, as opposed to you expect a beautiful flower kind of thing, it's got these nasty, mean looking teeth in there. It kind of shows the monster's nature. Okay, so then we've got these kind of, I don't know, these vine things coming out here in the back that look really nice. All over, just detail. You can see there's some leaves on the back going all the way down. There's just incredible detail. Just every inch of it is covered in fantastic stuff. And so we've got leaves here on the side. These are actually articulated. We'll get to that later, but those look just right. Leaves on this side too. I kind of like that it's asymmetrical. You've got different right and left side. It kind of, I mean, that gets Biollante's look. It doesn't look like a perfect creature. Okay, then coming down, we've got these vines out here, and these are done very nicely, as opposed to the M1 Biollante that I reviewed. I like that these ones have open mouths, because a lot of times when you see it in the film, those are on the attack. So having them open really captures that. And then down here, we've got kind of that bulbous thing Godzilla shoots with his atomic ray later on. And that looks very nicely done too. Okay, paint-wise, it's got metallic paints all over. I mean, you can see many different colors. There's red on the rose, which goes on very nicely with the pink. They blend together pretty nicely. It creates this kind of nice dual effect there. There's metallic green, gold, and blue on the main body of the figure. And those are done in strategic areas, for example with the gold being on the bulb there. That pops out from the surrounding blue and green and pink. Looks excellent. And then the mouths are done with a little bit more of the red that was also on the rose. Let's look at the back. It doesn't have any gold on the back, but it's got that same green and metallic blue. This looks fantastic. Oh, and here's another point of the paint looking really nice is on these leaves. I mean, it looks like what they did was spray it once over with blue, and then do a little bit of green coming down the center on the kind of on those veins, I guess you would say. So that looks really fantastic, I think. Okay, articulation. I already mentioned the leaves. Those do rotate. Both of those move. Then we've got each one of the vines moves up and down. And then I think there's glue seals on the heads. I don't know if those rotate or not really. I'm not going to force mine. I don't want to do any harm, but they don't seem to want to move. There's a seam in the middle of the figure. That does not rotate. That's just because it was sculpted in two pieces. And then last but not least, the rose does turn. So really, for a Biollante figure, that's quite a lot of articulation. I think that's pretty good, and you can, well, you can't really pose Biollante too many different ways. It's nice to be able to move the vines and everything, so very well done there. Okay, now for scale. Well, scaling is kind of difficult with this character because in the film you don't actually see Godzilla and Rose Biollante right next to each other, and also Godzilla is submerged in water about up to his legs, maybe almost up to his waist. But nonetheless, I'm gonna throw up a couple pictures that show what some people think the scale is like, and then you can judge for yourself. So take a look at these. Alright, so you saw those. Now let's try this Biollante with a couple of Godzilla figures. Here's the M1 BioGoji, the most logical figure I have to pair with it. Well, I mean, if you consider, that Rose Biollante might be about up to here. I mean, this is where the water would come up to, and then about to Godzilla's waist. That's really not bad, so this figure actually scales up pretty well with figures of its own size in the 9-inch, 8-inch standard range. So that looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and say that scales well. How about M1 Biollante? Okay, and as we mentioned already in that Biollante's review, that figure is a little bit underscaled, so really that should be quite a bit bigger than Rose Biollante. But that's alright, they don't really need to be together. And then we'll do a Bandai figure, just so you have a reference, because a lot of people have this one. Again, that's about right. If you had a BioGoji of the Bandai line of the 8-inch scale, which doesn't exist, it would scale up pretty nicely, but if you have the 1991 Godzilla, that's close enough. So that goes well with this figure. Alright, I'm going to give this figure absolutely a 10 out of 10. I wish I could give it higher. This is one of my absolute favorite pieces. If you get a chance to get this figure, I can't recommend it highly enough. Either one of the variants, it's amazing. The sculpt and paint look incredible. Especially on this version, I think the colors look great. The other one's a little bit more screen accurate, perhaps. So pick your poison, they're both great. Price-wise, well, I think I got a fairly good deal on mine. I paid about $70 plus shipping. But I don't think it would be unreasonable to pay even over $100 for this guy. Marmot's Monster Heaven line tends to run on the expensive side, especially the newer figures. And really, when you get one that you like the color of and you like the sculpt, it is well worth it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the review today. I'll have another one coming up for you soon. Thank you for watching.